whole year since wedding number 1. What have I learned in my first year of wedding? If you've decided that you want your wedding to be unplugged, let people know ahead of time. Probably put a sign on the way in as well, because I've announced it at weddings and the people who already have their phone out do not want to put their phone away, particularly, I hate to say it, the older relatives. They're not quite sure about the phone etiquette just yet, so give them plenty of notice that you don't want phones during your ceremony and reassure them that they will be able to see photos or video or whatever you're making available. Make it really clear. And it is nice to have an unplugged ceremony. The ones that people have put their phones away have been really lovely and calm, and everyone's just enjoying the ceremony. So it is worth it if that's the sort of thing that you want to go for. On the other side, if you are happy for people to take photos, some of the best photos that people get are from their audience. So perhaps if you've got some people that you're worried about, just talk to them about phone etiquette beforehand. Like when the bridal party is walking up to the front, don't go and stand right in front of the bridal party with your phone in their faces, because that is not wedding phone etiquette. Hiring a professional photographer definitely has its benefits because they know what they're doing and they just get it done and they come up with beautiful results. If you're going with a family photographer, again, great idea, but make sure that you're clear about expectations and how you feel about them throughout the ceremony. Do you want them standing in front of people? Do you want them to pause the ceremony to take a photo and disrupt the flow? Or are you really keen on having that photo of you holding your certificate, so you want them to stop the ceremony? Just be really clear, have a chat beforehand, and then no one gets upset with each other on the day. In terms of how you'll capture your day, I've had a few brides and grooms tell me that they wish they'd videoed it if they didn't, or the ones that did are really happy that they videoed it because it's something you can look back on. Particularly having smartphones with us all the time, you can have it on there and look at it all the time. A lot of people say that they don't tend to look at their photo album quite as much. It's still lovely to have those photos up on the wall, but it's the video that they go back to and relive the moment and something nice to show your kids. Now, if you don't want to hire a videographer and you've got someone in your family who can do that for you, then awesome, go for it. The sound quality is quite good though. If you get a proper videographer, they can hook up to my speaker or mic me up and capture all of the wonderful moments and everything that you say. Personal vows trump Googled vows every time. They mean more to you, they mean more to the people listening, and it's more personal to your relationship. Start jotting down ideas. Once you've set a wedding date, add notes to your phone every time you think of something. If your partner does something cute or stupid or something that you particularly love, write it down, and then when you sit down to write your vows, you'll have a stockpile of ideas to refer to, and it'll be really special because you've referred to all those little moments that your partner might have thought that you forgot. While we're on vows, the crier needs to go first. So if you can't decide who wants to read their vows first, the person who's going to be a blubbering mess by the end of it, they should read their vows first, because they won't be able to get through it if they've just listened to yours and there's tears and snot all over their face. Something I've learned for me is to write down to tell people to sit down after the bride has entered. Some people's family and friends know to sit down, and then others stand there and wait for me to tell them. So write it down, bold, underline, everyone please have a seat. Most weddings I've performed have been outside, and when it works it is beautiful. But for me, we live in Victoria and the weather is pretty changeable, so always have a wet weather option and don't be afraid to use it. Sometimes the indoor weddings, the plan B or C or D, actually turn out really nice. So don't be afraid to use your wet weather option. People won't worry that it's not in the perfect picturesque setting that you wanted in the first place. You're the only ones that will know that. What they will remember is the beautiful ceremony and how gorgeous you both looked and how much love there was in the room. When it comes to the length of your ceremony, you do you, but to be honest, the thing that I get the most positive feedback on is the length of the ceremony and how they're usually short and sweet. People love it. And honestly, the couples are fine too. Most couples feeling a bit nervous and it's over so quickly and they're just happy to get on with the party. So focus on the important bits, the getting married and saying something heartfelt to each other. You don't necessarily need all that other stuff. If there's a poem or a reading that's particularly meaningful to you, by all means include it. It's important that you have things that are special to you. But if there's nothing in particular, you don't need to include a poem just because everybody else has a poem. So just keep the bits you want and get on with the party. consider doing your photos before the ceremony. Controversial. I know it's nice to have that first look at the ceremony when you walk through the doors, but the couples who've had photos before the ceremony and have spent a bit of time together before they arrive, they still well up and have that beautiful moment when they see their partner walking down the aisle. So don't worry that you're going to miss out on that beautiful moment. Then it also allows you to go straight into the reception and enjoy this party that you spent all these months and all this money putting together. A few couples and friends have said that the thing that they regret about their wedding is that they missed out on the canapes or the drinks that came after the ceremony but before the proper reception started. You don't have to miss out on the party that you planned. Do your photos beforehand, and then when you arrive, you're just there and you get to see everybody and mingle. Consider doing something a bit different in your ceremony. I am up for anything. Probably my favourite reading that I saw this year was The Best Man Who read out the lyrics to You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer, because the groom is now unavailable and you can't touch this. Excellent, added some great humour to it. I've been offering to do a tap dance for just about every couple and everyone said no so far. So if you would like a tap dance or a song and dance number, we can make the whole ceremony a song if you want to. I'm your girl. Paper flaps in the breeze. Who knew? And it's really annoying. So I have my strategies to hold that down. I put everything on backing card, and I also use paper clips to help me turn the pages, because we don't want things flapping about in the middle of your ceremony. So it's been a pretty good first year. I've really enjoyed meeting all the couples, all the different vendors, getting to visit different venues, and just getting to know what it's like to be in this industry. I'm really happy that I'm here. Fingers crossed things pick up again towards the end of the year once we're through all this crazy virus stuff. And if you're looking for a celebrant, perhaps who could do a tap dance at your ceremony, let me know and we'll book you in and start talking about your ceremony.